Hey guys, welcome back to another day of Bookmas. And I always say that series feels so sparkly. So I'm going to put on the poll. I am so looking forward to today. I feel like the last couple of weeks I've been a little bit crazy, and to have a whole day where all of my decisions are just taken completely out of my hands. I'm handing over the reins to you. As an indecisive girly, oh, it's a nice feeling relinquishing control, let me tell you. But also just a whole day doing cozy, festive, bookish things. Yes. So if you're someone that's seen these kind of videos before, then you'll already know the deal for today based on the title. But if you haven't and you don't really know the deal for this video, then over on Instagram, if you follow me over there, you have been choosing without knowing a number of different things that are going to influence how I run my day to day. Think of me almost like a Sims character and you're in control. So I posted the first poll first thing this morning. Let's have a look at where we're at. So the first poll that we have was a picture of my wardrobes, and the two options that you could choose from was a pink heart and a red heart. You were actually choosing the jumper that I'm going to wear today, and the winner by 62 to 38 was the pink heart, which I have to say I'm very pleased about. So these were the two things that you were inadvertently choosing between: a red cable knit jumper and then my pink cardigan. I have to say I'm very pleased that the pink cardigan won because I love this jumper so much, but because I love it so much, I do wear it almost non-stop during December, and I feel like I haven't worn this in such a long time. It's one of my very favorites, and I feel like I only really start wearing it in the winter that's like post Christmas, because I don't know, I don't really wear pink in autumn much. I save it more for like the Jan, Feb, March months. So the fact that I get to wear it now, I'm actually so pleased with this. So that's the result of the first poll. I'm gonna go put this on. It's definitely very chilly today. It's not like a lovely sunny day. So the fact that this is like a proper cashmere mohair jumper is gonna keep me nice and warm. So I'm gonna go pop this on, and then we'll sit down and look at the second poll, because when I just checked this one, I saw the results of the second one that I've already posted, and it's a bit of a slam dunk result from you guys. So let me put this on, finish up getting ready. I need to put my jewelry on and stuff, and then we'll sit down and do the next poll. Dressed and ready for the day. Now for the next question on the poll. Like I said, when I checked this just now, there was a very clear winner. Let's see if in the last 2 minutes it's changed at all. No. I mean, it could never have shifted that significantly. This one was maybe a little bit clearer what you were voting for, but we have a stack of books, a phone, and some headphones, and that was representing whether today I should read a physical book, read on my Kindle, or listen to an audiobook. And as you can see, 83% of you voted for the little stack of books, which means today we are starting a new physical book. I'm also going to ask you which book I should read, but I haven't posted that poll yet. So first of all, I'm going to get a few options off the shelf, and then I'll post a couple of options on my stories, and we'll see what you choose. It's like some weird time warp of like the past, the present, and the future, like all overlapping. Kind of trippy, kind of fun. Okay, let's pick some books. I am actually currently in the middle of a book that I'm reading for a reading vlog, which is like a different episode of Bookmas. So I kind of want to pick something that's a little different to that. I find it hard to read two books at once if they're similar, but it's like totally chill for me to read two books at once if they're very different. So I'm thinking maybe a fantasy would be nice. I'm not reading a fantasy book at the moment, and I actually think the next few books that I'm going to read probably aren't going to be fantasy either. So maybe Emily Wilde, because I want to read this so much and it feels like such a good cozy one for this time of year. Similarly, Alchemy of Secrets by Stephanie Garber. I feel like I know less about this than I do about Emily Wilde, but just knowing Stephanie Garber, I'm still getting kind of cozy magical vibes from these two, which might be quite nice. I could do something like the Inheritance Games. I'm also kind of leaning towards actually Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, which would be completely rogue and very random considering it's not on my winter TBR, it's not been on my like any of my recent TBRs that I feel like I failed at getting to, but I also really want to read it, but maybe it's a little too similar to the book that I'm currently reading in some ways. Okay, maybe I'm going to stick with these two. I think I might stick with Emily Wilde and Alchemy of Secrets. I'm going to quickly post a picture of these two now, and then we'll see what the results say. Okay, there we go. That is officially posted. Let's see what you choose. Next on the list for today, I've got a couple more that I want to post right now because obviously we're going to go book shopping. So I want to get you guys to choose which bookshop we want to go to. I also want you to choose where I should read today, where I should read the winner of the book that you're going to choose. And I also want you to pick how much of the book that I read today. And then maybe there'll be a few more thrown in as we go throughout the day. First of all though, let's decide where we're going to go for the day. Let me just post one more poll now of some bookshops. You guys can choose that. I don't know how to signal the different bookshop options. It will be Waterstones that we go to. There just aren't any independent bookshops near me without me like heading all the way into London, and we're not going to do that today. I kind of want something to signal like little and large because there's like a smaller one that's on a little high street near me that's really cute that I haven't actually been to in a while, but it is much smaller, but it's really sweet in there. There's a great coffee shop next door. Or there's like the bigger one that I go to all the time, but it has a Gales in the same town, which is great because then we could get like a little sweet treat, but it's kind of like a bigger one. I don't know how to signal like little and large in emojis. Maybe I will just pick something completely obscure, so it's a complete luck, and I'll just do like left, which means when I come out of my road, I have to go left to the little one and I have to go right to the big one. So let's do that because then it's like the direction that I'm driving in, and that'll then just be total luck of the draw what you guys vote for. Maybe I'll also just write on here left and then right, just because sometimes like my eyes kind of blur and those two emojis like look exactly the same. Okay, that's it. We've now got those two posted. I'm gonna go, to be honest, like get my socks on, get my shoes on. I'm so ready to head out. I want a sweet treat drink, maybe buy a book. I don't know. We're gonna hit the bookshops. Let's get outside. Is the sun coming out? Yay, that is wonderful. Okay, festive bookish day together. Let's do it. Okay, first of all, this sunshine. I do know that I talk about the weather too much, but you just can't take the British girl out of me. It is what I think about most of the time. Anyway, you guys just saw the results of the poll, which has Alchemy of Secrets winning 59 to 41. I also think this is kind of a slay of a choice, I have to say, because it feels a lot more likely that I am going to pick up Emily Wilde like on my own because I'm so excited to read it. Whereas Alchemy of Secrets, I kind of have mixed feelings. Like I want to read it, but I've seen some not so good stuff about it, or I just feel like I've seen mixed reviews. I've seen some people say it's like 5 stars, and I've seen some people give it more kind of like 3 stars. And sometimes when you're going into a book and you don't know that it's going to be like, every time you pick up a book, right, you want it to be a slam dunk of a 5-star. So when you're like, oh, maybe it might not be so good, those are the ones that I tend to put off. So the fact that you've chosen this for me, I think is perfect. I also think that this is kind of a little bit festive. I don't know, there's something sparkly about Stephanie Garber, and there's something sparkly about just the look of this book. It just feels, maybe it's like all the stars, it just does feel kind of festive. Oh, postman's here, one sec. Guys, what a day I am having. I have just had 2 deliveries. Look, one is Candy Kittens, and the other one is Hue Chocolate, which is like my favourite chocolate, and Candy Kittens. Well, that's outrageous. How delightful. Anyway, as I was saying, I think this is kind of festive. I think this is fun. Let me know, could you guys tell what books I was talking about if you were one of the people that answered the polls? I think The Mushroom and the Little Leaves was kind of obvious for Emily Wilde. And then I did obviously like the little sparkle star, which I think is so like it's exactly the same as the little stars on here. Don't you hate it when things in your house make a noise that they don't normally make and it makes you terrified all of a sudden? I think the stars like so similar, and then obviously purple because there's purple. Anyway, let me know if you could tell what book I was talking about from that. So we're going to be reading Alchemy of Secrets today. It's also like not such a long book, so depending on how much you guys choose for me to read, we could get a decent way through it, which would be really fun. My coat. I'm so obsessed with this coat, guys. Ever since I got it, I've been wearing it every single day. It's by the brand Peruna, but I got it from Marks and Spencer's. I got it off M&S. I just think it's the best. I think it's the best thing ever. If you want something to put on your Christmas list that's like something really practical that you'll wear and keep for years. This is one of those coats. I think I said this when I unboxed it on my other channel, that I just think I'll have it for like decades. It's so comfy, and I think it's kind of like casual chic, you know? I mean, it's not obviously like super chic. Like it's a very casual coat, but I don't know, it makes me feel so nice when I wear it. Anyway, got my coat, got my bag. I'm literally just procrastinating, giving the second poll about where we're gonna go a tiny bit longer, because when I just checked to pick up Alchemy of Secrets, it was bang on 50-50. And Alchemy of Secrets was up for like 23 minutes, I think. So I'm not giving you that long to choose. This is a very live situation for the day. Okay, let's see where we're at, because I'm all ready to go now. Shoes are on, coats on. Now it's still on 50-50. Okay, let's scroll up and see if they're slightly, oh no, wait, what? That's so weird. It says 50-50, and then sometimes it does this. Oh no, it's just rebooted. Okay, I scrolled up to see the detail breakdown, because sometimes they're like a tiny little bit off, even though it says 50-50. And then I scrolled down and like all of a sudden the results like massively changed. Okay, we have a winner. We're in right, which means we're going back to the bookshop that I go to all the time. I hope you guys don't mind, but it is my local and I do love it. And there are a lot of Christmas decorations up in that town at the moment. And there's a Gales, which means you guys can help me choose a sweet treat. That is such a win. Okay, the right won by 58-42. So we're heading right. We're going to the bookshop. Let's buy a book. I'll take this with me, and then maybe we can read this whilst we're out in the cafe, or we can bring it home. Maybe I'll ask another poll once we get there, once I'm in the car park. Maybe I'll do another poll and I'll get you guys to choose. Should I read from the cafe, or should I come back home and maybe read from my little sofa in the window? Because that is such a nice spot to read from. Whether it's pouring with rain outside this window or it's lovely sunshine, I feel like a cat every time I sit on this sofa and curl up with a book. Right, you should all be very pleased with yourselves so far today, because you're doing very well. You're choosing all these wonderful things. I'm having a great time, and it doesn't really get better than what comes next. So let's go book shopping. At the shops that actually took so long. I should not have done this video on a Friday. Apparently the pre-Christmas shopping madness is in full swing on Fridays now. I think it's going to be pure like complete bedlam in there. It was the traffic, you know, when everyone's just like aggy and beeping their horns, but everyone's stuck in stationary traffic, so it's like, who are you beeping at? Who are you beeping at? Like, we were all stuck. So I'm gonna upload my next couple of polls now, because I fear my chance to talk in public might be somewhat limited. The next couple of polls I really want to do are, the one I'll do that I'll have to do once we're there is which book that I should buy, because I come now, I have to buy a book if I'm going book shopping. So I'll choose a couple, I'll post the polls, but the ones that I think I can put up now is what drink that I should get, because I want to get a drink from Gales. I could do a matcha. You guys know I'm not really a matcha girly. I don't love it, but I do like the flavor of whatever they put in the matcha. Sometimes those flavors are really nice, and they don't seem to do those flavors in like an ordinary coffee. But, or maybe actually, because I don't really love a matcha, maybe I'll do like a festive coffee or a chai. And then I think I'm also going to put up a poll on where I should read. I thought one of the options might have been like the cafe while we're out, and maybe it will be like if I get there, maybe I'll just do some extra reading there as well. But I think the options are going to be the park, because it's actually not too cold today, so I could either sit in the park, or there's actually a really nice car park in the park, and I kind of love reading in my car, so we could read in the park. Maybe the cafe is a bonus, or at home in like my cozy armchair in the window. I might put up those two options as a poll as well. And then the final poll, like for now, that I also need to put up is how much of Alchemy of Secrets we are going to read today. And I think I'm going to put up 3 options: 25 pages, 50 pages, or 75 pages. I'm not a very fast reader, so any of those will still be, to be honest, like a decent chunk of reading for me. But yeah, okay, first of all, let's go to Waterstones. There is also a Works here, but I think that might be like completely mobbed, because the Works that's here is actually kind of mostly like kids' toys versus books. Anyway, we're here, festive drink, new books, vibes are high. I've ever been right now, so I hope you appreciate it.
but I've got 3 options I'm going to put on the poll. I'm hiding in like popular science, which like no one is really in. But these are the 3 books that I've seen that I really want. If I'm honest, there's actually loads I really want. But first up we have Hot Wax by M.L. Rio. You guys know how much I loved If We Were Villains, so I really want to try some more. Next, Wild Dark Shore. I've heard such good things. And then finally, Shield of Sparrows. This book is an actual beast, but again, I've heard only incredible things. I actually can't believe how chunky this is. Anyway, I'm now going to take a pic of all of these books. Probably going to put them on the floor and take a picture. And then we'll see what the poll says. Kind of want to buy all of them, I'm not going to lie, but I'm going to respect the poll. I'm back in the car. I actually fully do not need this coat on today. I always forget how much, like, if you've got a proper high quality cardigan on or like a jumper on, then they keep you so warm. Oh, I'm actually sweating a little bit. It was actually, after being worried that it was going to be a bit like the traffic that I faced on the way in, it's actually so nice. I need to do some more Christmas shopping in person. I'm committing to myself because I do so much of it online now. And yes, it was really busy in such a nice way. Like, everyone's out, everyone's doing their shopping. There's buskers singing Christmas music. Obviously the sun was shining, so it just made it really lovely. Anyway, let me show you the things that I got. Can't wait to watch back the little clip of me talking in the bookshop. I have obviously talked in bookshops before, not very frequently, but I have done it before. But when I've done it before, it's been like on a really quiet day. This was like, there were so many people around. And so for me to whip out my little mic, I was brave. I was brave. So I obviously went to the shops, you saw the options, posted the poll, and then I was like, I'm gonna give the poll a minute to sit. Then decided to go to Gales and follow up on the results of that poll, which, where have I now put my phone down? The results from my sweet treat drink, my drink, I guess. My drinks poll was, I put the emoji of like the coffee mug, which I guess is pretty self-explanatory. And then I put the like boba emoji for chai, which is probably not fair, like a fair representation of chai, but I just didn't know how else to signal it because there isn't even like a different one for tea versus coffee. Anyway, the coffee won by 73 to 27. So I got from Gales their spiced cafe au lait, which they actually only had one festive coffee and it was this one. The other one was a hot chocolate, which I was tempted to get because I felt like I could have got away with it, but it's early enough in the day that I can have, I've already had coffee today, but it's early enough that I can have another one. Anyway, this is what this is. It's a short black coffee sweetened with muscovado syrup and topped with hot milk and a dash of ground nutmeg. Stunning, stunning. It's so nice. Oh, the nutmeg is so subtle. I think the nutmeg is literally just a bit that's sprinkled on top. So it's whenever you get like a little hit of that. And otherwise, I guess it's pretty similar to the coffee that I make at home. Like muscovado sugar coffee is what I make at home. But yeah, I'm also their hot chocolate. Did you see the description of the hot chocolate? Maybe in another festive Bookmas vlog, we'll go out and get the hot chocolate version because listen to this. Gales, having to Google what it was called. Okay, never mind, my signal's not working in here, I can't look it up. But it was basically a hot chocolate, but an elite version. But it was like a spiced hot chocolate. It was hot chocolate with cinnamon and chocolate chips or something, like chocolate sprinkles. It sounded insane. So we're gonna get that another time. And then, not on a poll, but just because I have some free will in my day, I also decided to get myself my first mince pie. I actually can't believe I haven't had a mince pie yet, but I haven't had one. And the Gales ones are so good. Look at this. That is like sugar crusted on the top. The ratio of like the mincemeat to the pastry and is so good. The Gales ones are so good. I was tempted to get like the pack of 6 that they do. Cameron and I usually buy that together when we do like get the Christmas tree day. We go to Gales, get a drink, mince pies, da 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 da. So I'll save that. And then quickly on the book haul. In fact, maybe I'll show you the books when we get to our next destination. Yeah, I'll show you the book that I bought when we get to the next stop. The next stop, I actually haven't posted the poll. Oh dear. Okay, quick. Oh no, but there's no signal in here, so I can't post the next poll. Okay, I might literally just need to drive out the car park, pull up on the side of the road, post the poll, and then I'll like head in the direction of home because the 2 options are going to be the park or home. For the park, I'm going to do like a little acorn emoji. There is an acorn emoji, I think. If not, it'll be like leaves. And then for home, I'll probably do the little house. Yeah, okay, right, let me get out of here. I can go post this poll and then who knows where I'll see you next, but let's head to our next destination, wherever that may be. Oh,
Okay, we are back, which, as you will know, means that home won the poll, which I have to say I'm quite surprised about. I don't know why, in my mind, you guys always want me to go out, but maybe that's because I always feel guilty about how much time I spend at home. That sometimes, maybe I don't think that you want me to go out, maybe I think that I should go out. Even now, home is still winning. It's like the leaves are catching up. I thought there was an acorn emoji. There isn't. There should be. I feel like there should be an acorn emoji. Anyway, yeah, the leaves are still behind. So at home, we are. I was gonna sit downstairs on my little sofa, but look at this sunshine. It's actually obscene. So I'm gonna sit in this chair right here that is bathed in sunlight, and we're gonna read some of Alchemy of Secrets. And then maybe once the sun goes down, I'll go downstairs and sit in my little window sofa once it's not quite so lovely in here. But before we get reading, let me show you what I've got in the bag. So you already know the poll. I don't know why I need to remind myself when it was only like an hour ago. We had 3 options for this one. The pink heart was for hot wax. The little dove was for Shield of Sparrows. Couldn't find a sparrow and I was like, could do an eagle. I decided a dove was probably the closest we could get. And then the waves for Wild Dark Shore. Is it Wild Dark Shore or Wild Dark Shores? Wild Dark Shore. And the winner is, as you can see, the very chunky Shield of Sparrows. Looking at the poll now, like a little bit later, Wild Dark Shore is rapidly catching up. There's now only 2% difference between Wild Dark Shore and Shield of Sparrows. I wonder if like by the end of the day, all the poll results will just all be different to what they were when I acted on them. But that's the name of the game. They all had minimum 25 minutes was what I gave each result. And that's all you got. That's all you got. But this book is seriously so hefty. A treaty sealed in magic, a fate born of monsters, a love foretold by legend. If you're not terrified, you're doing it wrong. The gods sent monsters to the 5 kingdoms to remind mortals they must kneel. I've spent my life kneeling to their will and to my father's. As a princess, oh, we love a story with a princess. As a princess, my only duty is to wear the crown and obey the king. I was never meant to rule, never meant to fight, and I was never supposed to be the daughter who sealed an ancient treaty with her own blood. But that changed the fateful day I stepped into my father's throne room, the day a legendary monster hunter sailed to our shores, the day a prince ruined my life. Now I'm crossing treacherous lands beside a warrior who despises me as much as I despise him. Enemies to lovers, hello? Bound to a future I didn't choose and a husband I barely know. Marriage of convenience? Enemies to lovers? Look at me tropifying a book. I'm so sorry to do that. Books are so much more than their tropes, but whatever. Everyone wants me to be something I'm not. A queen, a spy, a sacrifice. But what if I refused the role chosen for me? What if I made my own rules? What if there's power in being underestimated? And what if, for the first time, I reached for it? What a description! And then the little like, what do you call it? Dunno. The little subtitle, that can't be right, phrase on the front says, fear the monsters we make. Let's see, does this hardcover, what's it looking like? It feels, completely plain. That's fine. We don't need any special editions over here. Not necessarily like a pretty hardback in its raw form, but the cover is lovely. These flowers are stunning. They look like kind of roses or peonies or something. Anyway, I'm very excited about this. Thank you for choosing it for me. I don't know when we're gonna get to it, if I'm honest, but maybe in the new year. It could be a book club pick. I haven't really talked enough about book club, and this is definitely not the time to, but just because I just said that right now. Guys, thank you so much for all of the book club support. I'm probably just gonna gush about it solidly throughout the whole of Bookmas, but I'm really shook. I have to be honest, I did have a little cry. On launch day because I know you asked for the book club and I really wanted to do the book club, but then am I gonna cry again? No. But the fact that you guys actually want to do one with me, I refuse to cry. But the fact that you guys actually want to, when there's so many other creators out there and like so many people that have book clubs, it's just so nice. It's so nice. And I don't have like lots of other bookish friends. This is so embarrassing. This has come out of nowhere. Let me compose myself. I don't have a lot of other bookish friends, so to make so many through the internet, like in my mind, this is what social media is for. Like it gets such a bad reputation and there's so much that is wrong with social media, but when it can do, look at me like being so dramatic. But yeah, it really means a lot that you're all so excited, and nothing makes my heart happier when I think we're something like 95% women, so we're mostly women, but nothing makes me happier when women all like come together and everyone's just being so lovely in the chat, and it just makes me feel really good and really nice. And yeah. Whoa, what was I saying? I was saying I feel embarrassed. I was saying that maybe Shield of Sparrows could be a book club pick. I don't know how many of us have read it, but could be an option for an upcoming book club read. We should try and get to it before the next in the series comes out, because I've honestly heard... Now I feel like I need to go have a little cry. Okay. Anyway, thank you so much for choosing Shoulder Sparrows. I'm very excited to get to this. And then, because it's Christmas, and maybe as a treat to myself for launching the book club, I don't even know what excuse I'm going to come up with for it, but I did buy myself another book that wasn't on the list, and I didn't put it in the polls because I was like, I'm just going to buy it, and I don't want to leave this up to chance. I don't want to leave this one up to you guys. I want to buy it right now, and that is the hardback copy of The Wolf King. You guys know I've already read this. I crashed out so hard. There's a description for this book that I really want to say out loud, but I feel like it's a little bit of a spoiler, so I don't want to say it if it's a spoiler, but let me actually see what the description is. Here we go. I'm going to read this out to you as well in case you've never heard of this book before, haven't seen me talk about it yet. Like, The Wolf King by Lauren Palfreyman. Let me just read this out. When war erupts between humans and werewolves, a princess finds herself torn between duty and desire. On the eve of her wedding, Princess Aurora catches the eye of a powerful alpha, Callum. Believing she's the key to ending a brutal war, Callum kidnaps Aurora, whisking her away to the rugged lands north of the border. There, a forbidden attraction starts to grow, just as Aurora learns not all wolves are bad. Callum discovers that she is in danger from those closest to him. With monsters on both sides, a bloodthirsty war between humans and wolves raging, an undeniable passion growing between them, will their story end in love or tragedy? And will Aurora ever get home? Does she even want to? Okay, yeah, the sentence that I want to say would be a spoiler. And then on the back, it says, I want to mark you as mine, and I can think of countless ways I would do it. Countless ill-advised, highly pleasurable ways I would do it. Oh. The thing that I'm going to say is likening these books to a different series. In 10 seconds, I'm going to say the sentence out loud, which I think is a huge selling point. I think it's a huge... The reason I want to say it is because I think it would make me want to read the series so badly. That's why in my mind, I'm like, this should be a marketing... Like, this is how I would describe people to be like, you should read this, but I also think it gives something away. Wow. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. Okay, I'm just going to say it now. Skip ahead if you don't want to hear it. But... to me, this series, these books are imagine ACOTAR, but you actually like Tamlin. Then what do you do? Then what do you do? Then you're stuck. Then you are stuck and you are sat and you are on the edge of your fucking seat. These books to me are literally ACOTAR, but you actually like Tamlin. What now? What now? And if you did listen to that sentence and you haven't picked this up yet, I hope that's your sign to do it, because obsessed. And that is literally what this is. Okay, right, that is enough. Whatever the last few minutes have been. Let's get to reading. Oh, I actually need to, because I haven't yet. I'm now going to post the poll that asks how much I should read, because we haven't done that yet. I'm going to open this at like a random chapter and get people to vote on 25, 50 or 75 pages. I'm just going to get cracking, start reading now, and then I'll read the results of the polls in a bit. Let me put 25, 50 and 75 on the polls and see what you guys vote for. But my emotional crash out is already ruining my sunshine time because I can see the sun setting lower and lower on this chair. So let me buckle in, start reading Alchemy of Secrets, and I'll give you a little bit of an update once I've made some progress. Being back with Stephanie Garber's writing is so nice and such a trip. I haven't obviously read anything since I read the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, and I always say that series feels so sparkly, like it felt like just being, I don't remember what phrase I used to use, but like doused in fairy dust basically. And already the writing, I have to kind of like wrap my head around, or like you have to really sink into it. But we're on page 1. I haven't even made it to the end of the first page. And check out this line. The narrator, whoever they are, is talking to us. So it says, your excitement varnishes everything in an extra layer of shine. And I love that. I love the concept of someone who feels a lot of excitement or being excitable. Everything you see when you're excited is, yeah, varnish in an extra layer of shine. And then the following sentence, to kind of keep up with that metaphor, says, on your right, there's a bank of gleaming payphones in neat wood. And it's like the payphones are now gleaming because you're excited, and that's varnished thing. Like, I don't know, it just, I love the fact that it's about varnish and then a gleaming payphone. You can kind of imagine that varnish It's like that shiny look. Everything just feels like new or extra special or, oh, I don't know, it's so visual, so visual. Oh, it's so good. Here's another just great line. Maybe I really don't actually like underlining. I don't like editing books that much, but maybe I should. Listen to this. You're starry-eyed and optimistic, an overexposed picture made of too much light as you step through the double doors. It's so vivid, and it's such a cool way to describe someone who the picture that we're getting painted, I know it like it's saying you, it's kind of talking to us, but whoever you is, it's starting to paint that excitement and optimism as like something isn't going to go quite right, because it's almost naivety, like starry-eyed, which is always like a bit naive, with optimism, which is obviously a good thing. And then overexposed is obviously not a good thing in a picture, but like too much light. Can there be too much light? Like, oh, it's good, it's good, it's good. So atmospheric so far. Okay, I'm gonna relocate and go downstairs in just a minute, but here's just one more for you, okay? She tried to remember what she had done last night, but for a moment she couldn't even recall what day it was. She felt like a piece of paper that was slightly stuck to the page before. Holland groggily leaned over to check her phone. It was Thursday. Yesterday had been Wednesday. Again, like the imagery or just the metaphor, the concept, whatever you want to call it, the coolness of when you wake up and you like can't remember what happened, or like you're feeling all a bit misplaced. To compare that to being a piece of paper that's slightly stuck to the page before, when two pages are stuck together and you like flip the page and you're like, hang on a minute, that doesn't track from what just happened there, until you realize there's like a whole page of stories. I love it. Love it. Maybe now's a good time. Let me see how long it's been. Okay, it's almost been 25 minutes, which seems to be bang on when I check the polls every time. At this point, we have 50 pages winning. So I think I'm going to lock that in because it's winning by a good 10%. So I think that's the target for today, 50 pages, which is a really nice amount. I feel like I can form a good sense of the book at 50 pages when it's not a massive book. So I'm gonna head downstairs, keep reading. I've still got a huge chunk of that 50 to go, to be honest. I think I'm like 15 pages in or something. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, it's a couple of hours later. I've had my dinner. I'm now chilling. I've got my tea. I've put on pink PJs to keep in theme with the whole pink heart selecting my pink cardie. So maybe not a requirement of the challenge, but I'm nothing if not committed to a bookish prompt. So the vibes are all set and I'm currently on page 26. So far, like the writing, maybe some more question marks, or like more of a question mark on the plot and the story. I think the premise could be great. We'll see how it's executed. But basically the premise of this book, I think when I bought this, I read out the little blurb thing. I'm not gonna do that again now, because when I read it out, I didn't really know what that meant. But essentially it's about a girl called Holland, and Holland is studying at university. She's taking a particular class, and like the class that she is taking is taught by somebody that's only known as the professor, and the class isn't on the syllabus. You basically have to find the class. You have to like track it down, and then only if you hunt it down and complete it will the class like end up on your transcript. And the class is basically the professor telling the students a number of stories about, I think, just like magical, like stories that involve magic. And apparently the professor's very adamant, like you can't tell anyone else about the stories that I tell you in this class. And then we basically met Holland, who is very curious and would love to know if any of these stories about magic this professor tells her in this class that she found, if any of them are true. And then one day she's walking through LA and she sees something that she associates with one of the stories from the class, and she like follows that clue. And basically I'm foreseeing that the story, because based on what it says here, her search for the truth leads her to a dazzling new world. I'm imagining that she's gonna start discovering all the people from the stories that she's told in this class, and it's gonna turn out that the magic is real, and she's gonna go on an adventure. But I'm 26 pages in, so we are very at the beginning. We obviously need to get to 50 by the end of the day, which should be fine. It's quite early, very early for me to have made my mint tea. It's 7:15, So I'm going to be fine getting to 50 pages, but I think I'm at that pivotal point where we've laid some good groundwork. I now need the next 25 pages to really like solidify where we're going. That's how I'm currently feeling. But it's definitely very like magical and whimsical, and a lot of the descriptions, I don't know what, maybe it's been said and I'm just being really dumb, but I don't think so. I don't know when in time this is about. It feels like it's modern day, but a lot of the descriptors, because they're in LA, a lot of the descriptors are kind of like vintage 50s kind of, like there's a popcorn machine and a lot of the decoration, like a lot of the decor of the places that she is, all quite vintage. She's just met someone called Adam. I feel like Adam could actually end up being quite important, but she's just met someone called Adam who has a handkerchief. So there's some like vintagey elements, but then I could have sworn she mentioned Instagram earlier. So I don't really know where in time we're set. Feels kind of like vintage Hollywood, feels kind of like modern day with Instagram. And we've got some magic, and we've got these lessons that she's up. I don't know. Let's see how we go. Let me read some more and come back to you. Right now I'm not entirely sure what's going on, but I feel like it could be cool. I feel like it could be really cool. Okay, I hope this is not a spoiler because I don't know anything, so it's just guessing. But this person that she just met just did the most Jax thing ever. If anyone's read Once Upon a Broken Heart, currently, in some ways, this is feeling quite a lot like Once Upon a Broken Heart. Like, not at all, but also kind of. We've got quite a naive, kind of innocent, or what feels like quite a young character. The same way, I actually can't even remember, Evangeline in Once Upon a Broken Heart. She was like a damsel, like a true damsel. And then we've got Jax, who was like the kind of smirky, cocky, funny, confident. I don't know. I know absolutely nothing about this person we've just met. We've just met. He just did something extremely Jax. And she's kind of giving Evangeline a little bit, like wants adventure, but is quite innocent. I hope it's not too the same. Well, I want it to give me the same feelings, because I love Jax and Evangeline like so much. I want it to give the same feeling, but I don't want it to feel the same. A lot seems to have happened 15 years ago, or like either exactly 15 years ago, or nearly 15 years ago, or just over 15 years ago. I think we have a lot to learn about what on earth happened 15 years ago. And because this doesn't seem to be like a dual or multiple timeline book, I think it's gonna be a while until we find out what happened 15 years ago. Or what on earth is going on now. Okay, we're in modern day times because we're talking about the past and we're referencing 2010. Okay, I probably have read a date if I've just like, my brain has not registered what date was referenced, but this whole section is like, has so many dates in it. I'm struggling to keep up with them all, but we've now got 1996, 1997, 1999, 2007, 2010, and then 2011, something, a murder happened. So yeah, it's like modern day, but the book kind of has this like vintagey feel. Oh, that feels obvious. I feel like I'm tired and I didn't piece that together when I should have. I'm so comfortable right now that I feel like I can literally fall asleep, and I never fall asleep reading. But I truly feel max comfort, and I didn't put that together, and that was dumb. That's like really obvious, but it's okay. They've told me now, so I didn't miss anything too big. I knew it. It's feeling a little Once Upon a Broken Heart, I'm not gonna lie. I wonder if I'm completely barking up the wrong tree. If she thinks he's handsome. She thinks he's handsome. Oh my god, okay, I got a little bit carried away. I'm now, well, not too carried away. I'm now on page 57 where, well, I don't actually know if I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop for right now, but I might pick it up again when I go upstairs and get into bed, because it's just got a little spicy. And I don't mean spicy in the book sense, I shouldn't use that word. I don't mean spicy in that way. I mean like hairy. Things have all of a sudden got quite dramatic quite quickly. We've gone from cutesy fairy tales to like life or death, like death. Oh, actually, now that I read the beginning again, it does actually say that someone has been sent to try and save her life because it's under threat, and blah, 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 could change her Hollywood dream into a nightmare. Yeah, I think it's starting to turn into a nightmare. We hit page 50 and things are picking up. I have to say, I didn't see that coming. I didn't see that coming, and I really enjoy that. I think a lot of the books I've been reading recently have all been extremely predictable, sometimes in a good way, sometimes in a bad way. But I can safely say with this book, I have no idea what's going to happen next. This is not following any kind of structure I'm used to. This is not kind of following any kind of formula that I'm used to. My only sense of, I guess, like recognition, I don't really want to say safety and comfort because I don't feel comfortable or safe, but my only kind of grounding thing is the similarities to Evangeline and Jax. But I don't even know if that's correct anymore. I could be wrong. That could actually not be a thing and not similar. Wow. Well, so far I'm enjoying this, I have to say. This is good. I don't know if I have like the 5-star feelings, but I also think like, let's not judge a book too soon, because I'm feeling something. The last few pages, I'm feeling something. I flew through that last bit before I was like, wait, have I hit 50 pages yet? And then I realized I'm on page 57. I flew through that last section. Okay, that very epic end of that chapter, I'm gonna take that as my sign to stop. Go, I know I've got PJs on, but I've said this before, there's lounging PJs and there's sleeping PJs. I'm gonna go upstairs, have my shower, take my makeup off, get into my sleeping PJs, climb into bed, and then, I don't know, maybe I'll read some more of this now. Maybe it's too no, I think it's gonna calm down again. You know, when you get to the end of like a really intense chapter and then it mellows out before something happens again. So maybe I can read this now before bed, because otherwise it might be a bit like adrenaline pumping, you know? Oh, okay, 50 pages in and I'm enjoying it. I'm gonna have to either finish reading this in a different episode of Bookmas, like maybe I can squeeze this into one of the other videos, vlogging reading it. If not, I'll definitely make sure that I give you a reading wrap up and like a full review on this at some point if I don't manage to squeeze it in vlog form. But hopefully I'll actually vlog it, because I feel like there could be lots of twists and turns and like gasp moments. Like I didn't see that coming. Honestly, what a nice day. I have had the nicest day today. Thank you so much for giving me such a nice day and for answering all the questions on the polls. If you don't follow me on Instagram and you'd like to, then I'll put my hand in the description box, because I'm probably gonna do more of these. Like I said, I did one of these a year ago. I think it's so fun. Let me know if you like this kind of video, because I am all up for doing it more. As always, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for hanging out with me today. I know festive season can be a little bit manic, but I still hope that you're in the middle of such a lovely book. And it's so fun that I get to see you literally tomorrow for the next one. Bye guys.